Life is a wilderness, not a track. My wife Mary screamed hoarsely at me. Watching her nearly frenzied state, bitterness welled up in my heart. I'm a mid-level manager in a state-owned enterprise with a decent salary. Although not wealthy, our life was relatively happy. Yet at some point, my wife began to feel deeply dissatisfied with our stable life, even disgusted by it. I refused to let my life be filled with trivial chores and endless compromises, nor will I be bound by so-called rules. As I watched my agitated wife, a voice from a short video on her phone said, 10 things a woman must accomplish in her life. My heart was filled with helplessness. To be honest, since marrying my wife, I've hardly ever let her do household chores or worry about trivial matters. I don't understand why our once perfectly good life. Why did I become so utterly worthless in her eyes after she watched a few short videos? To completely break free from constraints, she has repeatedly asked for a divorce. But for the sake of our family and children, I tried my best to keep her, choosing to support her in fulfilling her dream. I hope that after a few trips, she can return to our family as soon as possible. Repeated compromises failed to win her back. Within a year, all savings were spent and a pile of online loans was accumulated. Every time I tried to advise her, she would just dismiss it with disdain. Don't impose your worldly standards on me. Only useless trash like you would treat a dead-end job, with a $20K monthly salary as some kind of treasure. With that, she picked up the book The Path to Financial Freedom for Women from the coffee table again. Between its pages was a glaring receipt. A 10-day expedition to Maley Snow Mountain, priced at $69,800. Countless times, debt collectors had come knocking, and each time, I was the one who took the fall for her. That night, after dealing with yet another wave of debt collectors, I collapsed exhausted onto the sofa. Mary, acting completely out of character, approached with a glass of red wine, her silk nightgown glowing softly under the warm light. It was the first time in 3 years she had voluntarily poured me a drink. I thought she had finally had a change of heart and happily drank with her. As soon as the wine went down, a wave of dizziness hit me, followed by sharp pain in my abdomen. I stared at Mary in disbelief. Her expression was cold, her eyes devoid of any emotion as she pulled out a blood-stained dagger and produced a blood-smeared insurance policy. The payout is enough for me to travel around South America. When I woke up again, I had returned to the moment she first mentioned divorce to me. Sign it. The divorce agreement slapped onto the countertop. Mary's cherry red nails glided over the asset division clause. The savings go to me. The house goes to you. Deal. Without hesitation, I agreed and picked up the pen to sign my name. She froze, seemingly not expecting me to agree so readily. You won't try to stop me? The Van Cleef and Arpels four-leaf clover dangling from her earlobe glared blindingly, a gift I'd just bought to appease her. Stop you, I sneered inwardly. If I were still as foolish as in my past life, this rebirth would truly be wasted. Since you've made up your mind, I have no reason to stop you. I understand now. You were right all along. Life should be lived to the fullest, and I shouldn't be the one holding you back. Mary simply wore a "you finally get it" expression and smirked dismissively. I want to photograph the starry sky over Lake Paiku, chase the arc of rainbows in the 7-tiered cascades of Rongja Waterfall, and weave the poetry of the plateau amidst the silver ribbons of Laga Waterfall. Life is so magnificent. My existence will be elevated through these journeys. And you simply don't understand the vastness of life. Go on then, live out your dull, insignificant life in mediocrity. I ignored her and placed the cleaned sea bass aside, the very fish I had prepared for her dinner in my past life. Now, I could use it to treat myself. Today was a day worth celebrating with a couple of drinks. Seeing this, Mary scoffed again and said, "Your life is just like this dead fish. It'll never turn around. You're just like the property management of this rundown neighborhood, only good at pruning ivy. There's nothing wrong with the daily grind. Let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau right now and get the paperwork done." The staff at the Civil Affairs Bureau were highly efficient, and everything was completed quickly. Mary looked at the divorce certificate in her hand, unable to hide her excitement. My life is finally about to start anew. The vast wilderness is where I truly belong. Holding the divorce certificate, I too felt relieved to have regained my freedom. In this lifetime, I will completely sever ties with Mary and no longer be dragged down by her. I hailed a taxi without giving Mary another glance. The aroma wafted from the deli downstairs in the neighborhood, and the fruits displayed on the stall looked exceptionally fresh. Uncle Tom, half a pound of braised beef, half a roast goose, 1 pig's ear, half a pound of grilled cartilage, and a portion of marinated tofu. Oh, expecting guests today? Is this enough? Plenty just for me. You've got quite an appetite, looking all radiant. Must be some good news, huh? Yes, great news indeed. Today's a wonderful day, perfect for a couple of drinks. The following period was the most comfortable time I've had since getting married. After letting Mary do as she pleased, my monthly salary of over $20,000 suddenly seemed more than enough, and I found myself with much more free time. Work during the day, enjoy tea and movies in the evening. On weekends, gather a few friends to hike and dine together. Occasionally prepare a lavish meal and enjoy a couple of drinks alone. Life is simple yet fulfilling. And Mary, after the divorce, clearly began living the life she had always dreamed of. Her social media updates were frequent. At 3 a.m. on the day of the divorce, a post appeared on her feed. The photo was a close-up of champagne glass in first class, its surface reflecting the newly dyed ash-gray tips of her hair. Caption: Life is not a track, but a wilderness. The first year of freedom. Sister, you're so cool. I'm envious. Mary, live freely for me. Mary replied, Girls, remember, men are like the inner lining of a windbreaker. Just toss them when needed. A day later, the location was the St. Regis Les Saux. The photo showed half of a Fanjing mountain tattoo, peeking out from under a yak wool shawl, a hand adorned with a Nepalese silver ring holding a cup of hand-brewed coffee. Wow, sis, you look stunning. I could play with Sister Mary's hand for a whole year. The comments from those little sisters online greatly satisfied her vanity. This was also one of the reasons she sank deeper and deeper. Of course, there were also plenty of lewd remarks teasing her, but far from being angry, she actually enjoyed them. This is the charm a modern woman should have. A woman pursuing freedom is the most beautiful. At the very beginning, everything seemed normal. Although the expenses were considerable, they were still within manageable limits. In my previous life, I fully supported her, thinking she was just bored at home and needed some relaxation. I believed she would return to family life after traveling around for a while. I had greatly underestimated the extent of her madness, which led to a tragic end. Sunlight filtered through the gauze curtains, weaving intricate diamond-shaped patterns. I lay on a rattan chair, savoring the fragrant Longjing tea. The phone rang, and I picked it up. It was Mr. Wilson from the company. I rarely work overtime, and I seldom receive work calls on weekends, so I was a bit curious. Suddenly, I remembered something and quickly answered, Mr. Wilson. George, emergency meeting in the company conference room immediately. Mr. Wilson didn't waste words and got straight to the point. My heart stirred. This was about that project. In my previous life, Mary's affairs had drained me completely, even though I was usually highly regarded by leadership. But during that period, I was completely out of it, so I didn't come up with any effective proposal for this project. I was just going through the motions while participating, making frequent mistakes, and eventually withdrew altogether. Later on, because of the situation with Mary, debt collectors caused a scene at the company, and I had no choice but to resign. In this life, I was naturally unaffected. On the contrary, I was in excellent condition. Work hard, live well. Okay, I'll be right there. I agreed without hesitation. This was an opportunity, and in fact, I had been preparing for it for quite some time. On my way to the office by car, I opened my phone, just as expected. Mary had updated her status again. In the photo, she was diving into Iceland's Blue Lagoon. The caption read, Freedom is a whale fall 3,000 meters beneath the sea. In another post, the photo shows a frigid snowfield glowing with an eerie blue hue under the aurora. Caption: when glaciers crackle in my ears and reindeer tread silently across the snowfield, I finally understand that line from Into the Wild. True freedom is freedom without the need to prove it. The end of the world and the cruel paradise. Nothing more than this. Hashtag Arctic Diary, hashtag Year of Freedom, Day 38. The comments section exploded with dozens of rainbow farts. Post-divorce Mary Gia is practically the goddess of freedom. Did Mary Gia scatter her ex-husband's ashes in the Arctic Circle? There was also a video clip. Darling, this is what life is all about. Plastic Sister Lily raised her champagne glass during the video call. Quick, show off your new yacht. Let that miser die of envy. Mary swiveled the camera, focusing on the white, yet anchored by the coral reef. Gilded letters on the hull spelled Freedom Queen. The comment section was instantly flooded with envious screams, with no one caring whether the ship was rented or not. Nor would they know how many credit cards Mary had maxed out. After quickly skimming through these, I sneered inwardly. The entire divorce settlement had been given to Mary, and it was by no means a small amount. It could support her travels to many places, but unfortunately her desires kept growing. Ordinary trips no longer satisfied her. Her current spending had long exceeded what she could afford. Soon, she would face the consequences. The cold air from the air conditioner couldn't suppress the restlessness in the meeting room. A few years ago, the company proposed a comprehensive agriculture strategy, investing in nearly 10,000 acres of fruit bases for cherries, blueberries, and other fruits, which had just entered their peak production period this year. In the memories of my past life, the originally agreed-upon partner had backed out unexpectedly. Thus, this emergency meeting was called to discuss how to resolve the issue. Cherries have a short shelf life and are difficult to store. With the harvest season imminent, the situation is truly urgent. Everyone, please share your thoughts. Mr. Taylor, in charge of distribution channels, was the first to speak. The top priority is to contact new partners. Old Joe from the neighboring city just asked yesterday. By the time they send someone to inspect the goods and bargain down the price, the fruits on the branches will already be overripe. Contact large wholesalers or fruit distribution centers. Ordinary wholesalers can't handle this much, and we don't have enough time or manpower either. Connect with enterprises and community group purchases. Open for picking, bundled with surrounding dining and tourism projects. Still the same issue. One proposal after another was raised, only to be rejected. How about trying live streaming sales? As the discussion among everyone was nearing its end, I spoke up loudly. Even a pig can fly when standing in the wind. After my rebirth, I knew that right now live streaming sales were one of those wins. At the very least, it was the best solution to resolve the company's current predicament. Across the long table, brand manager Lisa was the first to oppose. Live streaming sales? You want our prestigious 1,000-acre orchard to turn into a roadside stall for internet celebrities. Ms. Lisa, last year when Shanxi kiwis were overstocked, Old Sun's orchard sold 70,000 caddies in a single live stream, with a 40% increase in average order value. This model hasn't truly exploded in popularity yet at this point in time. At least, some leaders do not agree with this. Collaborating with e-commerce platforms also allows for video production, but it doesn't let customers see the fruit being picked from the branch with their own eyes. Every morning at 6, when the dew hasn't evaporated yet, we start the live stream, with the camera focusing on close-ups of the fruit's natural bloom. Drones capture aerial footage to showcase planting density. Quality inspectors screen the fruit on site, and hosts taste test them live. The refrigerated truck is waiting at the foot of the mountain, with 2 ice packs per box, available for nationwide delivery. Freshness is the best advertisement. Through traditional channels, cherries take at least 5 days to reach consumers. But for fruits ordered in the live stream, today they're still on the tree. Tomorrow they'll be dripping juice in fruit bowls across Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. Of course, sightseeing and fruit picking can be done simultaneously without any interference. Lower-grade fruits can also undergo deep processing to make jams, wines, dried fruits, and more. I have actually been preparing for this matter for quite some time. Having anticipated the leader's attitudes and most concerns, I addressed them one by one from various angles. There were also data, videos, and other materials presented on site. In the end, it received unanimous approval from the company's top executives, and Mr. Wilson even appointed me to take full charge of the project on the spot. Although I knew I would definitely be entrusted with important responsibilities, being put in direct charge was an unexpected delight. Indeed, after turning a blind eye to Mary, even my luck seemed to improve. The night rain in Kuala Lumpur clung to the neon signs of Chinatown like melted asphalt. Inside the bar, Mary swirled her mojito glass as her silk slip dress slid off her shoulder. The man in the neighboring booth raised his DSLR camera. "Miss, your eyes hold the entire Milky Way. Call me Vivian. Mark, freelance photographer. I'm looking for the perfect cover model." The camera suddenly focuses on the tattoo below her collarbone. What beautiful patterns, like a phoenix reborn from ashes. The man suddenly leaned in close, his whiskey-laced breath hot against her ear. "Tonight's moon resembles the scattered diamonds on your collarbone." The designer's silk camisole lost its elegance, shirts and garments strewn carelessly across the floor, black stockings torn to shreds. The floor-to-ceiling windows of the hotel reflected two entwined figures, utterly indifferent to the crowd watching below. 1 minute later, Mary took the champagne handed to her by the man and drank it in one gulp. Freedom is living in every breath. At 3 a.m., Mary secretly took a photo of his sleeping profile and posted it on her social media with the caption, "Met my soulmate." Dozens of envious comments instantly flooded the comment section, with one of her girlfriends writing, "Your hubby is 10 times hotter than that deadbeat." When you marry, you should find a man who's seen the world, someone who won't be easily tempted, who understands a woman's worth, not some clueless fool with no vision. A soulmate is someone whose soul resonates with yours. Mary fell asleep contentedly, completely unconcerned about the credit card bill in her inbox with its glaring numbers. Freedom is the most precious thing. Material wealth like money can be obtained anytime one desires. Outside the windowsill, the jacaranda blossoms were in full bloom, their purple petals scattered by the wind, mingling with that crumpled silk shirt. Mary woke up in the morning light, her fingertips brushing against the traces of last night's sweat that had dried. This thrilling sensation excited her. After enjoying an exotic breakfast, Mark lit a cigar. Ever heard of the jadeite rough stones from Pakant? Beneath the surface might lie imperial green. Mary shook her head. Mark smiled mysteriously. "Come on, baby, I'll show you something amazing." Passing through the slums of Yangon, the roar of cutting machines filled the air in the jade gambling den. Mary watched as Mark exchanged for 3 raw stones. The first cut revealed grayish-white dead stone. The second was covered with spiderweb cracks. When the third was cut, the crowd suddenly erupted in jeers. Mark grabbed her hand and pressed it against the cut surface, where the jade fracture showed a plastic-like fluorescent green. "Darling, love is like gambling on raw jade. Do you like it?" Mary's eyes sparkled with excitement. This feeling was truly marvelous. This piece of priceless jade was actually being gifted to her just like that. Sure enough, making money is just this easy. Those worthless fools who cling to their meager salaries don't deserve me. When you possess a high enough vision and status, money becomes the most insignificant thing. Only someone like Mark can be considered a real man. The two returned to the hotel, and Mark mysteriously pulled out another gift box. "Darling, this gift is for you." Mark kissed her cheek. "It's the sample wedding dress I ordered for you." Someone who truly cares about you will surprise you anytime, anywhere. That's real love. Mary's heart raced as she tremblingly unwrapped the package. Inside was a set of sexy lingerie and an unopened camera. "Haha, do you like it, baby?" Mary's face flushed red with a mix of humiliated anger. but even more so with an unprecedented thrill and excitement. She didn't reject this feeling. In the following days, the two indulged in intimacy several times. Mary experienced unprecedented excitement and novelty. Happy times always pass quickly. I've received an invitation to attend an international photography exhibition, and unfortunately, we'll have to part ways temporarily. My dear, I also need to return home first. Contact me as soon as you're done. Definitely. I'll take you to the pyramids in Egypt and the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Mary set off on her journey back home with a heart full of satisfaction. This trip could truly be called perfect, and this would only be the beginning of her good fortune. There were even more spectacular sights awaiting her in life. In the hotel, Mark, holding his phone and watching the video, smirked wickedly. A free-spirited woman indeed has a unique charm. On the 61 community, in the selfie and voyeurism section, Mr. 61 Mark had been updating continuously for several days. Due to the high-definition, multi-angle footage and the fact that it was a complete series, it had garnered millions of views. The drone's aerial footage captures the cherry orchard like a sea of pink clouds, morning dew shattering into rainbows before the lens, culminating in a close-up of a fruit farmer's calloused hands cradling cherries. The video has garnered tens of millions of views, with promotional costs already exceeding hundreds of thousands. The cherries are about to ripen. We must launch the online pre-sales simultaneously. Recruiting live streamers has been challenging. All the local professional hosts have been poached by competitors offering higher pay. Assistant Sue reported. Most of the company's leaders are quite conservative, but competitors have already sensed the shifting trends and made early arrangements accordingly. Recruit from communication universities. Look for candidates with good appearance and strong communication skills. Double their salaries. Don't hesitate to spend. After joining, you'll conduct unified training. They must familiarize themselves with our products in the shortest time possible. Good. The hiring of temporary workers also needs to be expedited. The current numbers are far from sufficient. Increase the pay by another 30%. Burning money before we've even started selling? In previous years, fruit pickers were everywhere at this time. From the time you took charge of the project until now, how much have you already spent? It's only been a few days. The CFO, Mr. Brown, slammed the table and stood up, clearly extremely displeased. The initial investment is absolutely necessary. If we wait until the cherries are ripe to act, it'll be too late. I responded calmly, realizing these company veterans still hadn't changed their outdated mindset. He didn't stop just because I convinced the leader. I've grown accustomed to him frequently questioning my decisions. Throughout the entire project, only my assistant, Sue, carried out my instructions without hesitation. After all, she's a fresh college graduate who adapts quickly to new things. And what's more, you spent such a huge sum just to hire a bunch of college students. What do they know? They have zero experience. We already have enough temps, yet you keep raising their wages. Do you think the company's money grows on trees? Experience isn't necessary. What I want is energy. They won't just be live streaming. They'll also be involved in short video production. Besides, temps are far from enough. My decision stands. If you have any objections, you can ask the company leadership to remove me. All right, meeting adjourned. I didn't give him another chance to speak, unwilling to waste any more words on such an old, stubborn fool. Time will tell. George, Mary on the phone demanded money right away, with a commanding tone and not the slightest bit of courtesy. This attitude didn't surprise me at all. It was the same in my past life. She'd come to me for money as soon as she ran out. Even though we're divorced now, she still hasn't changed. I don't know if she's forgotten or simply doesn't care. In my previous life, I endured everything in silence, which only made her more arrogant. First, there isn't any. Second, even if there were, I wouldn't give it to you. Have you forgotten we're already divorced? What's the big deal? Can't you make money after divorce? Still so useless. If you don't have 2 million, how about 200,000? It's not like you have anywhere to spend money anyway. Just combine your salary from these past few months with some loans from colleagues and friends. It shouldn't be hard to scrape together. I'm useful. Look at your pathetic self. I'll pay you back in a month at most. Spending money like water, not earning any herself. She has absolutely no concept of money. Though this tone didn't surprise me, it still made me laugh in frustration. Mary, are you out of your mind? If you're sick, go see a neurologist right away. Also, do you think 200,000 is a small amount? Why don't you try earning 200,000 yourself? If you really want money, go ask your soulmate for it. Don't bother me, I'm busy. Without listening to her nonsense, I hung up the phone directly, sneering in my heart. The time to ask for money came much earlier compared to the previous life. It seems spending is even more reckless in this lifetime. But what the hell does that have to do with me? Beep beep. The busy tone sounded from the phone, and Mary's face darkened. Humph. This loser is still as useless as ever. Just jealous that I found true love with Mark. It's a beautiful life. Meeting you is a beautiful accident. Her exclusive ringtone played, and a smile appeared on Mary's face. What a telepathic connection indeed. Darling, guess where I am? Does it matter where you are? It's not like you can fly to me, can you? Don't be so sure about that. Take a look, where is this? With that, Mary received a selfie video with the city's landmark clearly visible in the background. Oh my God, darling, you always surprise me. Inside the five-star hotel, the two of them, drenched in sweat, embraced each other in an extremely suggestive position. You've mastered more and more positions. The man spoke brazenly, his words dripping with innuendo. Mary seemed to have grown accustomed to it, no longer showing the shyness from before, but rather thoroughly enjoying herself. After their intimate moment, the man lit a cigar as usual. Darling, I came back early this time because I actually have something to discuss with you. Oh, what is it? Hearing this, Mary's curiosity was piqued, and she stopped the word she had originally planned to borrow money from a man. Do you know how crazy Korean beauty treatments can get? He tossed over a diamond-studded phone, its screen displaying coldly gleaming metal instruments. This is my friend's flagship store in Gangnam District, Seoul. Mark swiped his phone, revealing a crystal chandelier cascading over a gilded beauty bed. The Korean actress's face appeared rejuvenated in the before and after comparison photos. A free woman shouldn't be bound by money. Be my woman, and achieving financial independence will be effortless. This machine is worth 800,000, and even secondhand, it's top tier domestically. I have connections to get it for under 50,000. You're so beautiful. You're the perfect advertisement. Once the beauty salon opens, those wealthy ladies will be lining up to get treatments from you. It'll take at most 3 months to recoup the investment. Once things stabilize, you can completely step back as a hands-off boss, earning millions every month without lifting a finger. That way, we'll have plenty of time to chase our wild dreams together. Even if we don't open the salon, just reselling these machines would immediately yield 4 or 5 times the profit. Mary's heart raced with excitement, but she also felt a bit conflicted. Her credit cards were already maxed out. Yet, as she met Mark's adoring gaze, the words on the tip of her tongue slipped back down her throat. He holds me so dearly in his heart. How could I possibly borrow startup funds from him too? Darling, I need a little time to prepare. Give me 2 days, okay? Of course, my door is always open for you. But you'd better hurry, so we can pursue freedom together sooner. Mary quickly put on her clothes and left. Watching her retreating figure, the man revealed a playful smile. A free and independent woman. Huh? George, sell the house immediately and get me 2 million. You're truly beyond saving. Consider it a loan from me. At most 1 month, I'll pay you back 3 million, an amount you could never earn in your lifetime. One last piece of advice. The sky won't rain down free pies. Beep beep. I hung up the phone directly. Mary had indeed gone completely mad, losing even the slightest ability to think independently. Advising her once was already more than enough kindness, and I was genuinely too busy to waste time arguing with her. What a cowardly good-for-nothing. Mary cursed bitterly. Mom, I need some funds, but this is our retirement money. Don't worry, it'll double in just a week. Next month, I'll upgrade you to a luxury villa. Amy, I found a foolproof investment. These beauty devices smuggled from Korea can triple our profit. Invest $200,000, and I'll return you $300,000 next month. Cousin Mike sent a WeChat voice message. Sis, I'm still $80,000 short for my house down payment. Mary instantly replied with a 60-second voice note. Put the money with me. I'll turn it into $160,000 in 6 months. Your brother-in-law. Pa, that coward stayed poor his whole life because he never dared to invest. Hop on quick, sisters. Mary sent a voice message in the fan group, the clinking of whiskey glasses audible in the background. Beauty salon equity crowdfunding. Monthly returns starting at 5%. She posted a photo of the photoshopped instrument alongside a champagne tower on her moments, captioning it. Independent women are the most beautiful. Not enough yet. It's just 18% interest, right? Mary stared at the various online loan app pages, her finger hovering over the Borrow Now button, the phone screen reflecting her bloodshot eyes. You can double your money just by flipping it, and once the beauty salon opens, you'll be making money hand over fist. Gritting her teeth, she tapped decisively. Late at night, Mary lay on the bed doing calculations. When a calculator showed $4.68 million, she got so excited that she spilled champagne on the sheets. Photos posted on social media showed bundles of cash piled high on the hotel bed. New era independent woman. Startup fund secured. At 2 a.m., I received her message. Look at you clinging to your dead-end salary now. Do you really think I'm wasting money? Wait till I pull up to your company in a Maserati. Don't come begging on your knees. Dear customer, your order of 80 beauty devices has been shipped from South Korea. Mary posted a photo of the customs clearance form on her social media with the caption, all those who look down on me, get your knees ready. Of course, she specifically tagged me. To this, I could only say, you can't reason with someone who's determined to die, and ignored her. The delivery was incredibly fast, arriving within just a few days. Mary specifically changed into a silk blouse because Mark said it was the standard attire for a boss's wife. She was going to live stream the unboxing, letting everyone witness this glorious moment. Girls, the goods have arrived. Are these just goods? No, they're our bright future. This is a villa, a supercar, a Hermes. It's our boundless wilderness. Mary is literally my idol. Not only is she beautiful, but she's also so good at business. Rich lady, please take care of me. Her ex-husband must be blind as a bat. Watching the barrage of comments flashing across the screen, Mary smiled with satisfaction. I smell the scent of the sea. Mary closed her eyes and took a deep breath of the already unpacked box, feeling the tickle of the sea breeze brushing through her hair. Now it's time to witness the miracle. In the next moment, her smile froze. The box opened, revealing not the imported equipment with a pearly sheen, but what looked like a pile of discarded electronic waste, with the charging port even covered in green copper rust. What? What's going on? Is this a free gift? At least give something decent. Yes, that must be it. Mary forced herself to stay calm, as she could no longer focus on interacting with the live chat at this moment. Quickly opening the second box, she lost all the composure she had before. Yet the result was the same as with the first one. The third, the fourth. The scent of the sea turned into the pungent plastic smell from the cardboard boxes, suddenly rising up and making her nauseous. Mary curled up amidst the crumpled bubble wrap, her nails digging deep into her palms. The beauty device at the bottom of the cardboard box gleamed with the cheap plastic sheen, its Korean label peeling at one corner like a snake's shed skin, revealing the unmistakable stamp of small commodities market beneath. Her trembling fingers clawed at the other labels, nails screeching against the device's surface. Suddenly, she grabbed her phone, the customs photo flickering in her album. When zoomed in to pixel level, the telltale cracks of Photoshop manipulation around the container number became glaringly obvious. This can't be. She grabbed the nearest device and hurled it at the wall, its plastic casing shattering. In the midst of her emotional breakdown, she even forgot to turn off the live stream. Countless missed calls cascaded down from the top of her contacts list like a waterfall. Cousin Mike's voice pierced the tense air. You said it was a sure profit, so I'll lend you my down payment for the house. Now the sales office is pressing for payment. What am I supposed to do? Sweetheart, what's going on? You weren't scammed, were you? This is our retirement money. Mary, you liar. Bitch, give us back our money. Mary could no longer spare a glance at the barrage of comments, even forgetting she was still live streaming. Her stomach suddenly convulsed violently, and in her rush to the bathroom, she knocked over the coffee table. The shower head had been accidentally turned on at some point, cold water streaming down her hair and into her eyes. She snapped back to reality and hurriedly dialed Mark's number, but the automated message indicating his phone was turned off made her realize she might be facing the worst-case scenario. It sent a chill through her heart, leaving her like a rag doll stripped of its spine, collapsing to the ground in utter helplessness. 10. George. Mary's voice on the other end of the line had lost its usual arrogance. 100,000. Just lend me 100,000. Help me pay off this one. And when I find him... Now, Mary is like a stray dog with no home to return to. Relatives and friends are chasing her for money, and those cloud shareholders who invested in her are also bombarding her private messages frantically. Of course, the most severe are the online loans she borrowed, with debt collectors blocking her doorstep. Her father, overwhelmed by anger and anxiety, was directly admitted to the ICU, and now they can't even afford the medical expenses. I learned about this because my former mother-in-law called, of course, to borrow money. To this, I expressed my helplessness. I no longer have any relationship with her family. No, not just 10,000. I can definitely earn it back. I warned you before, and don't contact me again. Were you just waiting to see me make a fool of myself? It's all because of you. If you had sold the house earlier, would I have needed to borrow money? This mess I'm in today is entirely your fault. Seeing me refuse to help again, Mary started to lose her temper once more. She doesn't think there's anything wrong with her. If it were money I gave her, she wouldn't have to pay it back. Just like in the previous life, she naturally assumed I should revolve around her. If you don't lend me the money, I'll go to your company. Let's see how you handle that. You can try. Not caring the slightest about her threats. With this kind of person, if you compromise once, there will be countless times. Mary hung up the phone with a dark expression. George, you forced me into this. The door was banged loudly, but instead of Mary, it was the debt collectors who showed up first. I wasn't too surprised, actually. By my calculations, she must have been pressured countless times already. This is the IOU your wife signed with us. You have 3 days to repay the principal plus interest. Several burly men dressed in black walked in, their gazes cold and sharp. In my previous life, I hadn't known about this situation beforehand and was shocked by this sudden turn of events. Because I couldn't bring myself to abandon Mary completely, I ended up selling the house. And I borrowed money from many friends and colleagues, barely managing to fill the financial hole for her. How foolish. Now, of course, I had anticipated this long ago and prepared the divorce papers in advance. Sorry, we've been divorced for a while. If you have any issues, take them up with her directly. Even if you sell her off, it's none of my business. The debt collectors certainly wouldn't be dismissed with just a few words, but my current attitude was resolute, without a trace of fear. After coming a few more times and investigating thoroughly, they eventually gave up. After all, they knew they couldn't get the debt from me, so there was no point in wasting their effort. Mary's threat was nothing more than causing a scene at my company. In the past, I would immediately compromise whenever she pulled this stunt. After all, family scandals shouldn't be aired in public, and making a scene would negatively impact my work. But now I no longer fear anything. What's coming will come, and it must be faced. So her threats didn't bother me in the slightest. But Mary never showed up in the end. A few days earlier, Mary glared at my company's office building with venom in her eyes. Just as she was about to storm in and make a scene, her phone suddenly rang. It was Mark, who had been missing for days. For a moment, she didn't even have time to look for me, quickly answering the phone. You liar. Give me back my money, or I'll call the police on you. Darling, I'm sorry. I was careless about this. I was deceived too. Do you know how miserable I am right now? My dear, don't worry. I'll take responsibility. I'll compensate you for all your losses and ensure you earn 10 times more profit than before. Really? Of course, I swear. Come and see for yourself. I'll give you half of my business. Sweetheart, where are you? Since flying isn't convenient right now, I'll arrange a car to pick you up. I promise to give you a perfect resolution. Before long, a black business car sped over. After a brief hesitation, Mary got into the car, deciding to go see Mark first. Gazing in the direction of my office, she muttered under her breath, "George, I'll let you off this time. Why come back with money? I'll make you kneel and apologize to me." The vehicle jolted for several days, and even Mary couldn't bear it anymore when they finally reached their destination. "Darling, you've worked hard. Let me take you to rest first." "No, tell me first. How are you going to solve my problem?" "The jade mine." Mark smiled mysteriously. When the car stopped at the border trade zone, Mary stared blankly at the Burmese signs along the street. "Have some milk tea first." Drops of condensation formed on the milk tea cup he handed over. "Wait until the mine owner arrives. This time, the profits will be at least hundreds of millions, and I'll give you half of the ownership as compensation." Mary was skeptical, but couldn't help feeling excited. She took a big gulp of milk tea to calm her nerves. The coconut flavor mixed with a strange bitterness slid down her throat, followed by a sudden dizziness. "Where are we delivering this time?" A man with a northern Myanmar accent kicked her calf with his foot. "The last two went to Mayawati, and on the same day, they—" This was the last sentence Mary heard before losing consciousness. When the smell of disinfectant mixed with rotting flesh invaded her nostrils, Mary woke up convulsing on the iron-framed bed. The rusty shackles chafed her ankles, while a barbed whip hung on the opposite wall, its stains of blood blooming dark crimson flowers amidst the mold. "Awake! Mark's goods are decent," the scar-faced man muttered in Burmese, suddenly shoving his phone camera in her face. "Come on, smile for your new boss." Mary was about to scream when the belt buckle struck her collarbone hard, and a cold dagger flicked open her collar. 3 months later, in the dead of night, I received a video call from a number starting with +95. In the footage, Mary knelt before a Burmese billboard, her right eye swollen shut, a dog chain around her neck. A man holding a gun spoke through a voice changer. "5 million, or I'll mail her uterus to you." I remained unmoved and hung up the phone, then immediately dialed the police. I didn't care about Mary's situation, but fighting crime is every citizen's duty. At this very moment, the country was cracking down on fraud with full force. Within just a week, they dismantled this operation. All personnel, including Mark, were apprehended and now await trial under the law. I received the autopsy report from the police, confirming Mary's death. During this period, she was forced to participate in filming obscene videos with multiple individuals and, at other times, coerced into making fraudulent phone calls. The slightest mistake would result in beatings, which were the least severe form of punishment. After enduring inhuman torture, she was even sold for her organs. When the police raided the hideout, her body was casually discarded in a ditch. I closed the report without much emotion. Mary took one wrong step, then another. Had she been a bit more rational, she wouldn't have ended up like this. The so-called wilderness freedom she pursued was nothing but a carefully laid trap, with starlight as the bait and desire as the mechanism. Mary's death might have been a relief for her, but her parents would spend the rest of their lives in agony. But none of this concerns me anymore. The Cherry live streaming project achieved tremendous success, and the subsequent surge in orders proved that my seemingly domineering and unreasonable decisions were all correct. With the project's great success, the leadership decided to establish an e-commerce subsidiary, appointing me as the general manager. During this period, my assistant Sue and I worked together seamlessly and developed mutual affection. Not long after, we got married. One afternoon, as I was reading a book, I asked Sue, who was making tea, Do you think life is a wilderness? Of course it is, but the meaning is something each of us defines for ourselves. Yes, life is an accumulation of various experiences, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about doing what others consider meaningful. As long as we enjoy it ourselves, daydreaming, stargazing, or the daily grind can all be our wilderness. We are here to experience life, not to perform perfection. I gently held Sue in my arms, savoring this simple happiness. This too is good.